What do a fountain pen, a canister vacuum cleaner, and a locomotive have in common? Hello there, welcome to Inkquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another Pen Resurrection Sunday video. To answer that question, you'll have to keep watching as I restore this early 1940s Eversharp Skyline fountain pen. I've wanted one of these Skyline fountain pens for a long time, and the design of this pen is as fascinating as the man who designed a vacuum cleaner and a locomotive. I'll tell you all about it and show you the process I used in attempting to resurrect this fountain pen. I say attempting because things didn't go exactly as planned. So let's find out right now. Today's fountain pen resurrection is this 1940s Eversharp Skyline. I'll show you the process I went through to restore it to working order. Well, almost. And there's also some fascinating history with the design of this particular model of fountain pen. So we'll get into that as well for you inquiring minds out there. So first let's look at what I received. Here are some photos of what it looked like when it arrived. I bought this pen on eBay. It was in pretty good shape. I'm particularly fond of the burgundy colored Skyline, so winning this one was quite a bonus. It had to be in unrestored condition for me because a lot of the value for me is in the restoration. And here's what it looks like now. It is not and never will be in writing condition, and I'll tell you why in a moment. First, let's look at the pen. Overall, it is an unusual looking fountain pen even for an antique design. It has a definite Art Deco styling about it. It is made of celluloid and the cap is lovely with its translucent striping. The pen tapers from a very round top on the cap all the way to a pointed end of the barrel, and that gives the pen its distinctive streamline shape. It looks even nicer in perspective, like that streamlined locomotive coming at you. Look at the top of this pen and ask yourself where you've seen this shape in history. Well, you've seen it everywhere if you're a student of history or just really old like me. The Hoover Constellation vacuum cleaner, the telephone, the Princess telephone, the Big Ben alarm clock, the Polaroid instant camera, the thermos coffee carafe, a tape dispenser, the old thermostat on your wall, and the 20th century limited locomotive, and of course this Eversharp Skyline fountain pen, are all designs from the industrial designer Henry Dreyfus. To say Dreyfus was influenced by Art Deco would be an understatement. And when you look top down at the Eversharp Skyline, I'm sure I'm not the only one who sees The Rocketeer. Now, the comic book The Rocketeer began in 1982, but it was set in 1938 and heavily influenced by the 1930s and 40s Art Deco industrial design of Henry Dreyfus. We'll get on with looking at this fascinating pen, but keep in mind this quote from Henry Dreyfus: "If the point of contact between the product and people becomes a point of friction, then the designer has failed. If, on the other hand, people are made safer, more comfortable, more desirous of purchase, more efficient, or just plain happier by contact with the product, then the designer has succeeded." I think we can look back on his body of work and say he succeeded. Now, from the top of the cap, we see the very interesting clip design that creates the entire style of the pen. The trademark curve of the band of metal over a bullet shape. And the clip is fascinating in its mechanical design as well as its aesthetic design. From this photo, you can see that I got it partially apart for cleaning. I didn't take it all the way apart as it has a spring and a hook design that makes it a bit tricky to get it all back together again. And from this photo, you can see that the pressure bar inside the barrel was corroded beyond all recognition. These pressure bars had a collar that slipped into a slot and groove in the celluloid barrel. I just replaced it with a regular J-bar style pressure bar, and it worked very well. And here is a time-lapse video of the restoration process, including resacking and polishing of this pen. So I'm going to fit this sack to the section. I'm not going to take that nib out of there because these are pretty fragile and there's no need. It's whistle clean. Might just polish up that ebonite feet a little bit, some rubbing compound on there and shine it up a little bit. But I've got a necked sack ready to go on. I've got my talc ready to go and my sack spreader. I've already done a test fit and the sack seems to fit perfectly. So now we just put a little bit of shellac on that section nozzle, just like this. Little dab will do you. And to fit that over that feed that sticks out as well. There we go. Just give it a little bit of a twist and let that dry. I'm not going to shellac that just yet until I fit it into the barrel. Now that sack is dry. It's nice and straight. Put a little bit more just on that seam, so we don't get any leaks, and we'll let that dry. And now this is what the pen looks like today. It's held together with crazy glue because when I reinstalled the section into the barrel, unbeknownst to me, a hairline crack developed in the section. I inked the pen and it wrote okay, but would run dry very quickly. Then I noticed the nib kept rising up from the feed when I was writing with it. I pressed down on the nib on paper to see why it had such a lot of play in it, and the whole front of the pen fell off.
Well, because the front fell off and 20,000 tonnes of crude oil spilled into the sea caught fire. It's a bit of a giveaway. I just like to make the point that that is not normal.
The section literally shattered into 3 pieces. I removed all the ink, cleaned it as best I could, and crazy glued the parts together so I could at least use it for demonstration and size comparisons. So there won't be any writing samples here, as any pressure on that nib and the pen will fall apart again. I do want to show this lovely nib, however. Another example of Art Deco styling. It has Eversharp 14K made in USA, and it wasn't a flexible nib at all. It's actually fairly substantial. It's what they used to call a manifold nib, and a black ebonite feed. And of course it was a lever filler, and it shined up very, very nicely. And the pen posts very nicely as well, and is very comfortable in the hand. The one drawback people point to is that that lever gets covered by the cap when it's posted. I've never figured out why that is a drawback, as who wants to fill the pen with the cap posted? So no writing samples, but I will show some measurements right now. So what are my thoughts on this resurrection? Well, this was a real disappointment. I'd already written much of the history portion of this review and was looking forward to sharing that with you. But after the pen shattered in my hands, I basically mothballed the attempt at a video. Many viewers expressed their desire to see the attempted resurrection anyway. And against my instinct to hide my failures from public scrutiny, I've decided to share this with you today. Not every project is going to end in success, but you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And what I learned from this failure was not to get too excited about what looks like a victory, because one moment's victory celebration will turn in an instant to disappointment. Next week's restoration will be a case in point. This 1947 Parker VS will be the subject of next week's Pen Resurrection Sunday. There were several up and down moments in quick succession with this one. So tune in to see that next week. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And please look in the description for a link to Goldspot pens, as I'm now an affiliate of the online store, and when you shop at Goldspot using my link, you'll be supporting my channel as well at no extra charge to you. You can also join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, and sneak peek unboxing videos as well. And that just leaves it for me to say thank you for watching, and that's all she wrote.
I made this.